as you grabbed it in the water, it bit you underwater.
And we knew it would add anti-venom.
Yep.
Yes.
Operation after operation. Christiaan, you were discharged from hospital today. How many days were you in hospital after your snake bite?
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
And let's tell us about the snake bite. Well, first of all, you did one of our courses.
Yeah.
That was last year, middle of last year, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And we did identification, and we did snake bite, first aid.
Yeah.
So you had a pretty good idea what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us, you guys are near Baltimore.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened. You were in a veld?
We were in the veld, and then when it rains by us, there are ponds that fill with water, and then the bullfrogs, they come and they go in the water, and that was actually what I was doing. I was catching frogs.
And were these big bullfrogs you were catching?
Or
yeah, smaller ones?
There wasn't. We weren't seeing a lot of frogs because it hadn't rained for a week or two.
Okay.
But yeah, we were just going to see what we could do.
And did you catch a few frogs?
No.
Nothing. But then you saw something in the water.
Yeah.
What happened?
I saw it in the water. It was totally submerged, and then it was between tiny grasses that were beginning to sprout. And then I just thought it was a frog or maybe a terrapin or something. And then when I grabbed it, it bit.
So as you grabbed it in the water, it bit you underwater.
Yeah.
And you put your hand out?
Yes. And then I just saw the yellow belly with the black tongue.
Okay. And it dropped it, and then it disappeared, obviously. And you pretty sure it was a snouted cobra,
Yes.
not a Mozambique spitting cobra.
No.
So it's interesting because I've always said to people that with the snouted cobras, when we see bites, we see exactly what happened to you. We see pain and swelling, and we don't often see people battling to breathe, which you see with mambas and Cape cobras that have more a neurotoxic venom, but these have more a cytotoxic venom. Okay, so the snake got off, your sisters were with you, and everybody went crazy.
Yeah.
Screamed and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
And then what do you do?
When we got to my mom and dad, then I started to get cool. Then I knew everything was going to be alright.
And how long did that take?
About 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay, so now you got home, told your mom and dad, and they were phoning and going, obviously very, very, very nervous.
Yeah.
And then what happens? You decided to go through to hospital.
Yes, we went to Limpopo because that was the closest place, and we knew it would add anti-venom.
Yeah, so that's always the best thing to do. I always say to people in a snake bite, get to the nearest hospital. And how long did that take about? Let's say from you were bitten, 50 minutes home, and how long to the hospital?
In total, I think it was about an hour and 30 minutes.
That's a long time, eh?
Yeah.
Hour and 30 minutes. You know, if that was a black mamba bite, you could have been in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, so hour and a half, you got to the hospital, they admitted you, and they gave you anti-venom there, did they?
Yes.
And can you remember how many vials?
At first they just gave me 2.
Okay.
But then one of the local snake catchers came, and then he continued to say we must give me at least 3 more.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good thing. So you had about 5 then?
Yes.
Okay, and then you spent the next few days there. Or how long were you there?
Yes, about 4 days.
4 days. So the hand was swelling up, you were getting blisters, very painful,
Yeah.
but you weren't battling to breathe.
No.
And your eyes were okay. You didn't have with mambas, we often say people get a metallic taste in their mouth or pins and needles. Did you have any of that? Nothing.
No, nothing.
So purely just the swelling.
Yeah.
And then after 4 days, your parents decided they're going to move you to Pretoria and see if they can get someone who can start looking at that wound.
Yes.
And then and you didn't get more anti-venom after that?
No.
So then you spent about 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks in Pretoria.
Yes.
Operation after operation.
Yes, I think it was about 5 operations.
5 operations.
Yeah.
And injection after injection.
Yeah.
Are you tired of needles now?
Yes.
So now they've done a skin graft?
Yes.
And they sent you home. When must you come and see them again?
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks?
Yes.
And at the moment, very painful, or?
No, not really.
So the worst is over?
Yes.
I'm sure the doctor spoke to you, but I've already said to you, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a 100% recovery. You're going to have a bit of a scar,
Yeah.
but that's not a bad thing. It's something to talk about in future.
Yes.
Yeah. So scary experience.
Yes, it was a little bit scary until I got to the hospital.
Okay, then you were fine. And you're still keen on snakes,
Yeah.
but you're going to be more careful.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting that an experience like this could really make you dislike them, but it was a freak accident. I mean, it was just one of those things, and I see you got a copy of my book here. I'm going to sign it for you just now.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very interesting case. And, we learn a lot from this because when they test venoms, they can only test it on laboratory mice. But the way that the venoms work on these laboratory mice isn't the same as in humans.
Yes.
So for us, it's very important when it comes to managing snake bites that we learn from cases like this. We look at the symptoms. We now have good information of what happened. And then in future, we can educate other people. I can put it in my books. So these things help us tremendously.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's really, really, really nice to have been involved and to have learned so much. I'm also glad that we had Dr. Tilbury in the background, because Colin is one of the most experienced snakebite doctors in Africa. And every case that we deal with, we keep on sending him in information, and then he keeps on sending us back what he thinks. And we passed it on to your mom. You got all that information from Dr. Tilbury, and he was spot on with everything. He's really, really an excellent medical doctor. Well, thank you, and we wish you a very speedy recovery, and keep in touch. Okay. Photograph the snakes. Send me pictures. Let's see what's on the farm, but be careful.
Yeah.
Thanks, Christiaan.
Okay.